Hello and welcome back to the Weekend Debate. Alan Shea here as our guest, and he threatened before we started it might be one of his last appearances as an interview. I hope that's not true, because you've got so many things to say, and if not, I want to make sure you tell everyone everything.
Well, I've got a few documentaries that I'm committed to with English documentaries. Once lockdown's finished, I'll be coming over to film them, and a few other projects that I've agreed to do. But I am cutting back on my time now.
Why? What's wrong?
It's just medical issues that I've got to. The problem is I'm getting too much stress, and then it causes a lot of spasms in my stomach, which I've got a very powerful relaxant.
So you got a doctor's note to get out. I understand that.
No, in a sense. But like I've got the event that I'm doing in July, which is a private event which I've organised, and the guest that I've kept it secret for is Peter Tatchell. Once the borders open up, Peter Tatchell is coming to the birthday party to celebrate 30 years of the costume.
Wow.
The tickets are gone. My Kerrigan's been invited, and Ida.
Didn't hear my name there?
I did send you an invite.
You did? Oh, yes, you did actually. I'm replying.
Yeah.
RSVP.
Because of the venue, we're only allowed 150 people.
Yeah.
And it's full. Everyone's confirmed, and it's a go. Peter has confirmed he will be here if our borders are open, but he definitely will be coming. What, again,
we be talking about and bringing back to tell people about your situation and that journey that you've been on?
It's been a long. To me, it's a lot of people were involved in this, not just outrage. Some of the outrage members I did try and get to come over. Unfortunately, not everyone is alive. People have passed away. Martin Nuttall, that was also involved. He died of HIV and AIDS. He was treated badly in the Isle of Man. He went into the Old Nobles, and they wanted us to mask up in spacesuits and all this nonsense, and we refused, of course. Then Martin left the Isle of Man and passed away in Manchester. So there's a lot of history. I've just put a picture on Facebook. Each day I put a different picture from the Tynwald days. It's a sad way to where we are now, but
I got a story. I mean, think about it. I was at Manx Radio, and I was doing the Sunday phone-in, whatever it was. Anyway, it was recorded that week because somebody from the Isle of Man, who's HIV positive, was willing to talk, and because it was really, I mean, you just didn't get people talking. Anyway, came to the studio, shook his hand, and put him in the studio, and everyone was mortified after the event. I didn't realise that I had done all this, and when they found out, I mean, this is a long time ago, they defumed the studios, and it was some really, just like this programme you haven't seen on TV, how the people locked in wards, because no one knew what was going on.
That programme showed exactly the same treatment Martin got over here.
Yeah.
Is basically he was in a room on his own. Things outside, aprons, gloves, masks, wear this, wear that. And we went, no, it's so bloody stupid. And we went in.
But also, you're looking like amazing at this thing. Have you heard the stories like harassment from the police at the time you were getting?
Harassment from the police. My phones were supposedly tapped. We did have a number that was given to us from the UK to test our lines. Basically, it was an international phone number. Unfortunately, the Alman wasn't that clever, they didn't understand. I would tell us that our phones were tapped. Certain events that we mentioned on the phone, the police were there, so we knew something was going on. It was very suspicious.
And all the incidents at the toilets, particularly Nobles Park.
Nobles Park toilets. See, everyone thought I was one. I'm not really into the. I know people did it because that was the only outlet they had to find someone of the same sex to have a release. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people were getting arrested. So we did. We went to a lot of our advocates. We got little things, what to say, what not to do to the police. If they ask you a question, say no comment. We put all this information with the phone number of an advocate and all this stuff. But the arrest case, I mean, they followed one from a young man from Ballasalla all the way to Ramsey. And as soon as the poor lad went in the toilet, they jumped on him and arrested him for gross indecency in the public toilet.
and it brought some big people down. Well, I mean, passing notes under doors, and they went to...
There are cameras literally cameras in a light bulb. They had all this. And because you had these... The focus in those days wasn't very good. And the police were shouting, we can see even all these photos, obviously, and so people confessed because they thought they had all these pictures.
Yeah.
So it was all fuzzy.
Your thoughts?
So there's a bit of an age discrepancy here. So I was born after all of this had happened. I was...
What you got to remember is, I'm not being funny, people died.
Yeah.
People shot themselves. People died in the car on that promenade and was put on Manx Radio before the family even found out. That's how bad it was. This is Manx Radio broadcasting it before the family were told.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah.
There are two different worlds here. The world I grew up in was vastly different. Yes, it still took to my later years to start seeing representation in television and in other media, but there was no immediate fear of, there was no persecution at the time, not in the same way. It was, 1992 had passed before I was born. The legislation had come into play in 93 that had decriminalised homosexuality.
92.
92. But even then, it was
I remember you had abuse.
Absolutely.
In your younger days.
It's because I'm sort of in a position where I sort of straddle the two generations. So I'm on the younger end of the people who remember all this, and the older end of the digital age and freedom and everything. So I'm kind of in the middle. So I remember all sorts. I remember growing up terrified, and I remember coming out and being spat at in the corridors at school, and being chased places. I remember there was a time I was staying for a while in Onken, and if I had to walk along the promenade at night, I would actually go right down to the beach, as far away as I could get from view, and walk along there back to Onken, because it would just be easier. Sometimes being out on your own at night back then, even when I was growing up, and we're talking 1998, 99, 2000, 2002, not that long ago, it was still terrifying to be out at night on your own sometimes, and you still felt very sidelined and very vulnerable and different, because there wasn't the same support over here as there was in other places. But it's grown so much, and I think that's why next Saturday for Pride is so important. It is a celebration of how far we've come, and we have come such a long way, and it's also to commemorate what's come before, and also to galvanise, come together and amplify our voices for the rest of the journey that's ahead, because there is still a journey. And I think it's very, very important that we have that togetherness. Because I don't want anyone to grow up.
But even when I
feel scared like that.
I wore that costume, I only went out with a circle of friends. I was terrified to go out, and I don't go out now. Very rare I go out.
Whereas I can be frequently found walking the streets alone, even quite late early into the morning.
Even after that incident this weekend, hasn't worried you then?
Not me personally.
No.
It's no more fearsome for me to be out. If I was with a partner, then yes, I would be more scared than I would be walking.
It's going to make it a bit more scary this time, because I know it's Claire has done, and these people here have got the Pride thing done, but since this attack has just happened last night, people are going to be on their guard at this festival, especially at night now, leaving there at night. Are there going to be divvies waiting for them to attack them? You don't really know. So there's a bit of a risk. People will be nervous, because this is two guys in the 26, 27, beaten from come from behind.
It's a coward's way of doing it, isn't it?
It's a coward's way, but the same is if you're walking from the villa down through those archways, which is dark. You don't know who's going to be behind you. I think people will be a bit concerned. So,
and there's times I still get ever so slightly nervous.
But I think it's going to be I think this is going to be made a bit more nervous, because there's two guys are just being attacked.
Yeah.
And I know it's and this is a week before Pride. Now, the question is, what, you know, if it happens, what's going to happen? This is the big question now, because I'm thinking about the younger generation. I'm 58. I'm an oldie now. I'm thinking about the younger ones, 17, 18, that may be there, and there may be some divvy or some stupid person who's going to be a coward and do it that cowardly way. It could be a scary event in my eyes.
I think next Saturday there's going to be enough people around.
But I'm talking about what late at night,
Yeah,
when the sun's getting dark.
I think the revellers will be out quite late, and I think there's going to be a lot of bodies about, a lot of eyes about. I think a lot of people should be safe, but if you feel at risk at all,
I think
don't put yourself in any unnecessary risk, I think.
I mean, Pride is slated to go on till 12, and then there's going to be events
There's
all
after
around
parties
Douglas
all over.
afterwards.
I think
There's going to be a constant flow of people.
You should just keep making it clear. If
Yeah.
anyone's got a problem, please go to one of the attendees, you know, so if they feel safe for them.
Just for people, and we talked about this in other interviews, take us through that Tynwald Day moment when you walked down with your petition,
Well, that was
your grievance thing.
Terrifying.
Tell me.
Absolutely terrifying. First, before I did that, I got my hair shaved off on number one. I found the most grossest pair of shoes I could possibly find. The costume was from Marks and Spencer originally. It went on its first debut Pride in 1991 with Outrage, who I'm a member of. We came back to the Isle of Man. And then we added the add-ons, was the Three Legs of Man, the 626262 government officer's phone number.
Should we explain that you looked like a certain sort of...
It was a concentration... As a gay in a concentration camp in Nazi Germany, I believe that the way the police treated the LGBT people was outrageous. Stopped them from walking along the prom. So that costume had to be worn to make a point. So on the day, we had Outrage, who flew in, or on the boat. We also were being filmed by CNN.
Oh, and that, as I said, is on YouTube. Unedited almost. It's really just incredible to watch.
CNN.
You have to watch that as well when you listen.
CNN were there.
Yeah.
I did not
It
know
was
that.
flashed all over
This was the beginning of the media age when suddenly the old man couldn't keep this
when you look at
TV.
the day, I don't know if Paul remembers, the whole place was absolutely packed. And TV lorries and with all their satellite dishes all on. Then Outrage was shouting at even the Chief Minister then, Sir Miles Walker, saying we're queer, we're here. We kept, because we are queers, and we're also puffs. And that was their job. My job was to present the petition. So I was in place. I walked down the hill, being hissed by the army, and all the cadets that were there, hissed, witnessed by other people. I handed the petition, but before then there was a death threat given to me against my life. So there was bodyguards that we had to have people waiting for me at the end of the costume was quickly removed so that make sure that no attack took place. And then we had the Tynwald Day stall that was followed by the police because they all had the same sunglasses on because we could tell they had a job lot of sunglasses. If you ever watch the video, just look at the sunglasses, you can tell who the police were.
They had guns with them as well, no doubt. Probably.
Outrage went on to the famous Rock Stone and did a kissing, which was very popular to the police. Amir was an Asian guy, and he was punched a few times. And it was a very great...
You were doing PDA before everyone else.
We had a very great day. Now the costume is now under the ownership of the Manx Museum.
Yeah, I've done this. You've got to look it up. It's just awesome to think 30 years later it's been taken on as a part of our culture now.
It's in their magazine. The magazine that you pay for to buy.
Could you ever believe this though at the time? How crazy the world's in a good way gone crazy because it was 180 degrees.
My partner and the committee of the campaign group, we had to have a vote on it, and 4 of us won the vote. The other 3 But now, so basically, it wasn't really supported by the Manx people, the Manx gay community, because they didn't think it was a bit too far. But saying that now, that costume, to my knowledge, every TV that comes here to this island asked to see that costume. So it's a good thing for the island because it's bringing people into the island. I mean, there's guys coming in from England to do a documentary once the borders are open.
Yeah.
So, and
you get some stamps yet? Have you had stamp issue yet?
Not yet.
That'll you'll get that.
They was going to do one, but they put in favour of the equality
All right.
instead of the LGBT.
You'll get your moment. Okay, we're going to wrap up a bit. Just your thoughts, though. I mean, just hearing this was incredible, isn't it?
There's a lot of history. I remember a couple of years ago there was a bit of furore on a Manx History Facebook group where some of these things were put up, and some of the people argued that gay history isn't real history, which I was very offended at, and there was a little bit of a Facebook battle between a lot of people, and it all got...
Yeah, I do remember that because...
You remember that because it pandered to the homophobes.
Yeah,
their comments got to stay.
Yeah, also what happened was, there was a guy, a poet called Simon Maddrell, basically it was up for a top award at the UN, and they booted him off the site. They didn't realise he'd be kicking off. He was a very well-known poet, up for an award with the UN. He's a Manxman too. He is a proud Manx queer, and he's had a lot of books put out there. And but they did not realise that they kicked out this guy.
Sorry.
I think by and large, like the Isle of Man's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's moved on. I always say that it's moved on faster in a shorter space of time. We're actually ahead of the curve with a lot of things, and I think that's brilliant. Like, I'm proud to be from the Isle of Man. It's, you know, I love this place. It's home, always will be. I've tried to escape a couple of times, and I always get pulled back because nowhere else will ever be home. But I'm proud of the Isle of Man, and I love its people.
That's nice.
99% of the people that you meet out there are brilliant.
Okay. Happy to be here, enjoying it. Done well, the Isle of Man, positive?
This is my home. I'm a Manxie. I'm not born here, but I'm a Manxie, and I'll die here.
I mean, the longest I've spent off the island is like 2 weeks.
That's true.
That's
all
very
Manx.
Manx.
That's all I do.
Good homeboy. Go.
As much as I want to, see the world, I'm growing roots. I'm going to be here for a long time, and I want this place to be a really good place to live for everybody.
Fantastic. Nice.
It's only the occasional bad apple that, because it gets called out nowadays, is what makes it loud and visible. So the very occasional bad apple, 99.9% of the people over here are fantastic.
What a way to leave this. It's been an interesting conversation, especially I hope we'll be interested to see what comments this produces, of course, but we get ready for those all the time. So there's always going to be a backlash, isn't it? It'll never not be that sort of...
someone negative to say.
But hopefully some people
everyone.
say some nice things.
Yeah, I think I'll just finish off.
Yes.
The more accepted we become, the more tolerated we are, the more you see the people who are against us acting out. It's desperate. We are winning this fight. So.
I've got to say one thing.
Yeah.
The great thing I saw was last year when I would never believe it in my lifetime I would see this, is when I saw 2 girls and 2 lads holding out in the street, and then 2 girls kissing, and not one person battered an eyelid in Strand Street, and I went, well done. I've been waiting that for a long time, and when it happened, I thought, it was worth it. It was worth it.
And pride's for everyone as well, so it's like, the more equality that we have, it's not a pie. More rights for us doesn't mean less for you. Equality is everyone's responsibility to achieve and maintain, not just a select few. But it's good for anyone who doesn't, anyone who's not part of a community. It's good for all of us. If everyone can live their lives safely and happily, that's good for everyone, surely.
Summed it up perfectly. Thank you. Interesting panel. And every first Saturday of each month.
Saturday of every month for Rainbow Nights,
yes.
And every Thursday at the Bridge for the viewing parties.
Maybe different than the voting.
Thanks for watching. If you have comments, please leave them. Be kind, hopefully. And if you think you could be on the panel, we'd love to hear from you as well. Thanks for watching.